Hey, what's up? How's it going, Bucko? It's me, dumb here. And so basically, this is a little bit different in video. Very long video, as you can see, but I just did this presentation live on Twitch. And so basically, this is the introduction to that VOD kind of thing, if you will. It's my first time formatting with like doing a Twitch stream for YouTube. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope the information in this video is helpful to anyone out there. It's a bunch of stuff I wish I knew and considered when I first started. Like I said, I'm still just a little guy, but it's important, I think, to just share my experience with trying to stream on Twitch and all that. So I'll just start letting the video play. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you at the end of it. Bye. Welcome to the very cool and swag things I've learned from 6 months of streaming by yourself, Ryan, Boy Cowboy here. Hi. This is me before the hair change. Look at that with the hat and everything. Found this picture pretty cute. Needed a shave. I need a shave right now as well. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So let's jump right in. Now the disclaimer here is that, like I said, this is my own personal experience. These are things that I wish I had been, things I wish I knew earlier than I do now. So, you know, I'm just a little guy, but if anyone gets any inspiration or anything out of this, that's awesome. So this is just my personal take on a lot of stuff, and yeah, my way of viewing streaming and stuff like that. So here we go. Okay, overview. Okay. All right. Overview. So this is the breakdown of everything, kind of. It's a little chaotic as well, but we'll be starting with a little introduction of myself. Then we're going to just jump into like talking about tips and advice I wish I knew sooner. We're going to talk about setting goals. We're going to talk about building a fat old, big old cool community and the goals with that. And then we'll conclude it all off. Okay? That's the goal. And then when I made the announcement in the Discord, Red was like, will there be a Q&A at the end? Trolling me, of course. But there is, I added a slide for it. If there's anyone here with any questions, we'll just do that at the end. There probably will not be. So, yeah. But if you got one, save it till the end, all right? So introduction, look at me with my bad gamer posture right here. This is an old photo. That date isn't accurate, of course, but that's me. So for anyone that doesn't know me or we haven't chatted too much, my name is Ryan. I was in school for cybersecurity. I just recently got my degree in that field. And during that time, for 2 years, I was working as a system analyst at a nonprofit dealing with homeless management. That's when I first started kind of streaming. I ended up being pretty not mentally well during that whole thing. I hated it. Just because of management and things like that. So I quit in December to January of like this past year. I don't remember the exact date. It might have been the beginning of January of 2022. And I started, taking streaming a little more seriously during that downtime while I was trying to finish up school. And so during that whole process, it's been like 6 months since I've been unemployed. I have lost all of my money. So I'm currently getting another job again. But I'm going to be trying to balance, content creation as well as working. So I can be the most swag and based streamer on the platform. That's the goal, right? We all got to shoot for the stars and all that shit. Okay, so analytics, we're just going to jump right in. These are my analytics from when I hit affiliate. So I got my affiliate invitation on, I think, like January 30th or 31st. I'd been streaming a good amount before then, not crazy because I was working for the most part. But I started like really pushing for that grind in January and slowly getting my average viewership up. The followers weren't the hard part, but the hard part was getting the average viewership of 3. That one's really hard to get when you're just starting. So this is my overall analytics for since I hit affiliate. My average viewership, the followers, so you can see like, I had the 50 to get affiliate, so the 130, it kind of adds up. I think I'm at like 170 something right now. So we've lost some, right? But that's okay. Our subs, our total subs over this like 6 month period, our revenue, and our total hours streamed. This graph here is a little skewed because, and we'll get into that once we go month to month, but I had a big old raid then, so it kind of fucked up this chart and also the chart for March, which we'll see. But yeah, this is just me being completely transparent about some analytics and stuff and breaking that all down to kind of support some points later on. So this is month to month here from getting affiliate. So this is February. We can see average viewership. So like I said, I hit that 3 to get affiliate right there in January. And I'll talk more about that in a little. But so we grew during that period. Our followers went up. We got our first couple subs. We were gaining a little bit of revenue from subscriptions, from some bits, and of course, fucking ads, right? Which we'll talk about ads in a second. But we started making ad money. Cool. Total hours streamed, about that 90 hours. That's a pretty solid amount of hours put in. We'll talk about hours in a moment as well. But yeah, so that was that month there. Then we move on to March here. So March was a cool month. As we can see, this data is super skewed because on March 25th, on my birthday, I was streaming the cycle, and I got rated by a streamer named Gingy, who's a very big Tarkov streamer. Thank you, Gingy, so much for the raid again. But that all of a sudden I was sitting at probably like 7 viewers that night, maybe. I don't even remember. But we were having a good time. We were drinking champagne, celebrating the birthday. And then I got hit with like a 600 viewer raid. So that kind of skewed all of this. So the average viewership isn't really accurate realistically because of that, right? Because of that giant jump. So those are the follows. The total time streamed, you can see drop down. But it was in a okay month considering the raid. And that was when I was doing the cycle closed beta streams. So we were getting some new viewers from that because they had drops on to get a beta key. We'll talk about drops in a little. In April, I stopped streaming basically. So we can see here 8 hours. Yeah, all those numbers. So I think I was just depressed. I don't remember. This was like in the low point of me being unemployed. There was a lot of stuff going on with the band. I was throwing that. I threw a music festival during this time and launched a company. So this was that. That's why that all drops off. So I'm pretty sure these streams were literally only my flyer streams that I was doing for those events I was throwing with Whammo Media. So yeah, that's what was going on there. And then eventually we make our return to streaming. What is that? At the beginning of May. And this was a pretty good month. I started getting my footing back. I vividly remember going live again in May and being like very nervous about it because I had taken so much time off. But as we can see, the average viewership's increasing. Did a pretty good job that month. And we put in a lot of hours. And we're touch base on hours in the next slide, which is this past month. So this is June right here. So this is the previous month. As we can see, this has been my best month yet. The average viewership has been going up, which is fucking amazing. Really cool to see. Plenty of new followers. The sub number reached an all-time high. And of course, that previous month, we had hit our sub goal of 25. So that's why I have this beautiful hair. So thank you guys for that. There's the revenue breakdown of all of that. And then the totals hours streamed. So this number here is really not healthy. This is a unachievable amount of hours. Like I said, I've been unemployed. I've had nothing else to do except streaming, and that's what this month kind of was. This isn't good though, and the reason for that is I was putting in like 8-hour to 12-hour streams almost daily. Like I was live all the time, and during that time, my sleep schedule got destroyed. This also led to my mental health kind of getting fucked up. This led to problems with relationships, like with Megan and things like that. So this wasn't super healthy and what's the word I'm looking for? Sustainable. I would not recommend ever putting these hours in. It's just too much. That being said, though, that being live for that amount of time, there is a whole, a lot of people talk about like there's no reason just to go live for a long period of time. and just hope something works out. That is true, except realistically, the longer you are live, and if you are doing certain things like, stuff we'll get into about content and things like that, the more you're live, the more likely you are to, get a new viewer, get a new follower, get a raid from someone going offline. And the reason that kind of drove me doing all these streams was that I had nothing to really do at night. And so I would just keep streaming. And when I was doing like the super auto pet streams and stuff like that, I was getting really good numbers during like the hours of like 3 to 6 in the morning. So yeah, and I believe my previous top gifted sub person was Wildtown. So when you're getting that sort of feedback, really positive feedback while you're destroying your body, you kind of want to just keep going, right? So yeah, all in all, these hours are not sustainable at all, but it was a really good learning time to be live so much. It helped me get a lot more comfortable with myself being live, and helped me figure out a lot of things. So it was a really good testing period and figuring that all out. But remember, at the end of the day, like, as someone that wants to pursue content creation full time down the road, realistically, like, this is working practically overtime. I know that like most Twitch partners, I think their contracts say something around like 160 hours a month, and those are people that are like actually supporting themselves full time. So this is just unsustainable. It just doesn't make any sense to be doing stuff like that. And it created growth, which is really cool, but it just didn't add up looking back on it, right? We did have a lot of fun though, so that was pretty cool. Okay, now we're gonna go into my crazy little things that I've learned and tips and stuff like that. So we're just gonna start powering through it. So the first one is be engaged. Woo! Okay, so things that I've been learning. The first point here, unless you're the best at the game, people are watching you for entertainment. So be on, right? So what this is talking about is like, a lot of people, like, if I watch a Twitch stream, I'm not there most of the time to watch the actual game, right? And there's exceptions to this. There's caveats to that. Like, if you're the best at a video game, if you're really fucking good, or you're doing guided content, then like, yeah, people are there to watch the gameplay. But my goal, and I think a lot of people's goal, is to kind of build out a community and to be entertaining, right? Is to be a personality on stream. And so, like, you need to be actively engaged when you're live streaming. And this is something that I'm still learning and still getting better at every time, but it's super important to just always keep that on. Another one, which is something that I've struggled with and have just started getting better with it, is to not go live unless you're feeling good. And this goes back to the being engaged thing. If you're not up for it, like, don't do it. Like, if you're not going to be active and you're not going to be on and engage, don't go live, because one, like, you're just probably not going to create quality content, and two, with Twitch being so analytics and data driven, if you're not producing good quality content, then your numbers aren't going to be as good, and then so that's going to be reflective in your analytics and things like that, which is going to cause those sorts of issues. The third point here, let me take a sip of this coffee. The third point here is even if 0 viewers, still be on. So this is something that I learned pretty quickly, and I think a lot of people struggle with this. It's really fucking hard. I vividly remember it when I did my God of War playthrough live. I was streaming to 0 people for like almost the whole thing. Like, seriously. So make sure you're on and engaged even during that. Even if you have that one viewer just because it's like your friend has it on in the background or whatever, just always be on. And the reason for that is, one, super solid, good practice, just to get comfortable with commentating and, being entertaining. And it's a skill that you just, actively learn. I'm still learning. Every time I go live, I feel like I slowly get a little bit better at it. And just chatting and things like that. And then two is view counts are not accurate at all. and I think most people know this, but it's just important to clarify. Even if it says 0 viewers, you might have 1, 2, you could have 10 that just joined at one moment. And by the time that you see the 10, they could all be gone, right? So if you wait for those view counts to go up before you're engaging and trying to be entertaining, you could be missing out on people that might be interested in what you're doing, right? So just always try and be on, and that goes back to like if you go live, make sure you're just going live and giving it your all. Just try not to half-ass it, and just always be ready for 500 viewers. Just always be the quality of the content shouldn't change depending on the viewership, I guess is what I'm saying. If it's 0 or 1 million, it just try your best, and you should be producing the best that you can and be as engaged as you can, no matter what, when you're live. This is a big one. Don't be a dick. There is a caveat to this, which I'll talk about, but if your content revolves around you being a dick, I guess this doesn't apply. But it's pretty simple, this first point. Just be nice to people, to chat, and other people you're playing with. If you're playing with someone and you're just being like shitty, and like this is something that I've had to slowly get better and better at, but if there's just like something bad going on and stuff, like don't let it reflect in the content. Try your best to get past it, and just move on either to the next point. If it's clearly like not a good thing going on, just get past it. If someone is complaining or just being negative and like not helping with the content in that type of light, just try and get on to the next point. But just all in all, like when you are live, just try and get past that as best you can. There's a lot of people that I'm friends with that are really good at this. I think like Jug really stands out. Papa Jug, he does a great job at just like powering through it. I think myself, I do a pretty good job at just like getting past like any negativity going on or stuff like that. But that's a big one. And then another thing, this is something that I've had to learn. Don't let content die. Don't get mad and ruin a bit. Just play it out. Like I said, if it's like actually pissing you off, and if there's like negativity going on, try your best to get past it. But sometimes the not necessarily the drama, but like someone fucking with you can be really entertaining. So like a prime example, it's my most viewed clip on Twitch. It's called like sad cowboy emoji or something, but it was way back when I was doing the Valheim SMP before I really started like streaming. And my friend Red Mirror, shouts out, he like trolled me by like moving my portal, and so I died or something like that. It doesn't matter, but like it was something that genuinely like fucking pissed me off. Because I was like a whole thing I had to deal with in the game. But at the end of the day, like he did something that pissed me off, but it was very entertaining to watch. You know what I'm saying? So looking back on that, how I would have handled that interaction was probably a little bit different, instead of being all like a salty little baby about it after the fact. But it was very funny and entertaining. So just try your best to like it's just a game, and like any of this stuff, it can be really good content and be very, very entertaining to the audience. So just keep that in mind when dealing with this kind of shit. Yeah, so that was the point I was just making there. You're entertaining an audience. If they ask a question or want to see something, take the time to show them. This is super important too. Like, I think we were playing Sea of Thieves the other night, me and the boys or something. And like someone said something, like I was muted talking to chat, and I think someone was like, oh damn, like chat's more important than your friends, huh? And like Mayan said like, yeah, no, it is, and it probably should be, because if you're live on stream, like the most important thing, you're live to entertain, right? So if you're not actively engaged with your chat and the people there, like you probably should just play the game and not be live. So for example, yesterday, like someone popped in chat. I don't even think they followed, but they just like popped in chat and they asked if I could show them the shop in the Cycle Frontier because it had just updated. So I had to actually like physically close out my game, relaunch, like ready up with my squad I was running with and all this stuff to show them it. And I did that because, that's someone that's taking the time out of their day to come see my content, and I want to provide them with the best with what they need, right? So I've seen like some horror stories on like the like different Twitch subreddits and stuff of like people asking like a streamer a question and they're just like, I don't fucking know, Google it, but they do know because it's about the game. They just don't want to give them the time. They'd rather just keep playing. And it's like, you're there for your audience and for the viewers and for your community. So just always try and be ready to help them out when they need it. Yeah, and then respect your community. No one wants to stick around if you don't show love back. This is a big one too. Like, it's really great to like meet all these other like smaller streamers and stuff, and like when they pop in your chat and they they raid you and they lurk and shit like that, like show the love back. Go check out their chat, go be cool, like develop those relationships, and as well as like with your like active like chatters, the people that come in and just like hang out and are always like chilling in your chat and shit like that, like they don't have to give you that time. Like they maybe they're there because they like your content and things like that, but there's probably people on the platform that are better at either the game or just more entertaining to watch, but they are watching you. So always don't be a dick to people in chat. Like, it's just not cool. And yeah, and that goes the same for like chat, like going into someone else's stream and talking to them. Like, just be respectful about that and show that respect in your community and the people that are supporting you and things like that. Yeah, and then this is a big one, like spread the love. Like, if you are raided, make sure that you like turn on like raid mode, because when you get a raid like that, like for example, I mean, the Jinju one was like crazy. Like, that doesn't normally happen, but like I've gotten a few during like the Cycle Frontier drops that were like, like good 15 people. Like, I got a Hunt Showdown one that was like fucking like 30. When that type of stuff happens, that's your chance to like introduce yourself and try and engage with those viewers, right? Because as someone that does raid people pretty frequently, when you raid someone, you're kind of taking a gamble that that your audience and the people that have been watching you will enjoy the other person's content, right? So just make sure that you're like engaged when that kind of stuff happens. It's like a terror. It's happened to me so many times during the cycle stuff when you raid someone and they just like kind of like, they're like, oh boy cowboy, thank you for the raid, and then they just like get back to fucking like gaming and shit. Like it's not, it feels really shitty because you're like, dude, like these are I'm trusting, I don't know, like this is the people that I like, this is my little community, and like I'm like kind of like handing the reins to provide content to them, and it's just like, if it's not engaging and if they're not like cool about it, it just kind of feels bad, and of course talk to the person that's rating you, like ask how their stream went, and shit like that. Just try to be engaged with the new audience when they pop in like that. It's super important, I think, and never take it for granted, even if it's just a few viewers versus like a 500. Like, anyone that's willing to raid someone and raid you is such a honor. So just keep that in mind. And of course, spread the love back. A lot of times people raid because they're trying to give their audience more things to watch, but they're also like, oh, in their head they're like, oh, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. So like, remember who raids you and stuff, and if you can, like, try and show the love back. It's always great. Okay, review your work. This is a huge one. This one's massive. Okay, first point, watch your VODs. So this is something I started doing when I was trying to get affiliate, and I think it helps so much. Now, as a crazy man that would stream for like 8 to 12 hours, I could never watch all 8 hours of my VODs, right? But either after your stream or like before you go live again, like go back and review the VOD from your last stream. There's a couple reasons for this. I think it'll be on the next point. So when you first start streaming, there's so much technical shit to figure out. It's so fucking terrible. But when you first start, like, it's very important to not just hit the go live button and just keep doing that, because one, there's the whole technical side of it. So for example, like audio quality is a huge thing. And so it's almost more important than like video, because having terrible audio can just like be It's so rough to do. So what I mean by that is like, one, like audio levels are super important. So how is your game audio versus your microphone audio? Huge, to make sure that that's where you want it. So when you review that, you're able to hear it back and actually hear it through Twitch's encoder and stuff like that when you watch your VODs back. Two, Discord audio versus game audio versus your audio. So, or your mic audio. There's ways that and it's very important that everyone do this if you're going to be playing games with other people. You need to split your Discord audio from your desktop audio. And there's YouTube tutorials all over how to do this. But you need to figure out a way. It's very easy. Just follow a tutorial. It uses like voice meter and shit like that. But you go in and you split those channels up. Once you have that done, then you want to go back and you honestly do a test recording first and tell your homie to like sit in Discord and then listen to it back. But you need to figure out a good balance in that audio, because you don't want like your mic to be lower than your homies in Discord. It's just like, it's so distracting, especially when like certain, like if you're talking to chat or something like that and there's just someone like screaming in the background, it's almost hard to even focus if you can just hear it loud. But set your Discord audio at a certain point, and then you can manually adjust each person in the call need be. And if someone's mic is like too far away or it's too loud or something like that, like feel free to tell your friends that who you're playing with. Like don't be ashamed. And if they're your real friends, they'll understand why you're asking, because you're not just, it's not just for yourself, it's for, the content you're trying to bring. A huge one too is FPS drops. Depending on your rig and things like that, you might not be able to have a high quality, 60 FPS, 1080 stream, while like playing a game on high or things like that. There's certain alerts that you'll get while you're streaming if your FPS drops. I had this problem so much back in the day. I would have terrible laggy, shitty frames. My computer would blue screen when I used to stream Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. I had to take 2 weeks just to it took me 2 weeks to like get it all in check and get my shit going. And sometimes still today, like I still have some choppy frames in Hunt Showdown, and it's the first thing I'll fix. Like I'm not going to there's no point in keep going if your quality's just terrible. Like no one wants to watch that. So figure that out either by adjusting your game settings, your encoder settings in your OBS or Streamlabs. And then a big thing too for a lot of new people is they don't understand how bitrate works. Take the time to learn all that stuff and get all your shit set up, okay? Before you start like trying to really push for affiliate or something. That's what I did, and I think it was great, because by the time I was like actually getting a few people popping into my stream, I think my quality was all there. And going back to audio too, put a noise gate and a compressor on your mic. There's software that'll do it for you. Discord has one built in, but put a noise gate or compressor. Streamlabs and OBS should have that setting. If not, if you have an RTX card, NVIDIA Broadcast can give you like AI generated noise cancellation. Because, if you're not going back and listen, you need to go back and listen to your VODs. And if you have a fan on in the background, if your keyboard's super fucking loud, like just get that shit figured out. And just try and make it the best quality you can. So yeah, that's kind of that there. What's this? Oh, and then this one too, another reason to watch your VODs. Review, like just to see how you are. Like, are you cringe on stream? I've had to deal with that problem before. Who hasn't? Am I right? If you're gonna be make sure your content is how you want it to be. Go back and watch it and see if you'd be entertained by it. And try your best to figure out what you're trying to do. The best way to learn is by practice and reviewing, and then figure it out. So just take the time always to review your work and make sure it's the standard you want it to be. And yeah, I don't know, and just check up on it, I guess. But so that's that. That's something that's been really important to me. I still watch my VODs back and stuff like that, just to make sure everything's good. And yeah, the final thing is like research. Just with all the stuff I've been talking about, anyone can reach out to me and ask about it. And some of you guys have before. But the internet is great. Everything I've learned on how to do like anything has been from the internet. So there's so many resources out there to help. And it might not be as simple as just following a 10-minute YouTube video. Like when I was fixing my stream for, 2 weeks, it was like a huge thing. And I had to like troubleshoot so much to get it figured out. And eventually I did, but I had to use so many different resources. But the internet can teach you anything. Hey, thank you, The Spy. I appreciate it. What's up? We'll have a Q&A at the end. No, I appreciate you popping in. Okay, content time. This is a big one. So this is something that I struggle with, and I'm trying to get better every day. But first one is to try and have a goal for your stream, or at least a plan. This is something that is super important, and all sorts of the Twitch and YouTube gurus that give you like tips and shit talk about. So the big thing about that is just because when you have a goal in mind, you have like a point A and point B that you're trying to get to, right? So if you have that goal set, you have an end goal, and that I think what like people have talked about it as like stakes, like you're setting stakes, right? So it can be as small as just like trying to complete like a quest, like if you're playing like the cycle or something like that, just trying to get some progression in the game. Even if you just set that up at the beginning of the stream, you'll at least have an end goal of what you're trying to do. And that can also help with like, like your hours that you're trying to set and things like that, or when the stream should end, or all sorts of stuff. But always be thinking about if you actually have content that you're producing. That being said, there are exceptions to this that I do all the time. So like, for example, yesterday, the stream was a drop stream, right? So I had a little bit of goals. Like I wanted to complete my Osiris quest line for the Cycle Frontier, and I didn't complete that. But the main goal of yesterday was to produce the hours and play the game and try and be entertaining, because it was a drop stream, right? So the stakes weren't really there for that stream, but it's just important to try and set these goals. And then, of course, it gives you like a thing that you can put in your title, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It can give you a way to advertise it to your Discord, on your Twitter, things like that. So yeah, this is something that I struggle with, but it's great to have. Like, so for today's example, we have a really cool stream that I can use this content to then make a YouTube video about, which is like a big thing that all the gurus say. Killing two birds with one stone. Yeah, but going live aimlessly usually isn't great. It can be, and it's really good when you're just starting, but as it gets more and more and you're trying to, develop additional content for other sites and things like that, which we'll talk about in the growth section, it's good to have a plan, because I think you can make it, like, for example, this is a YouTube video now. So like I'm going to be able to upload this and I have two things. So just try your best to come up with content ideas. This is a big one, like watch other streams. This is something that I do in like everything that I do creatively, whether it be music, filmmaking, shit like that, but just fucking like, if you're trying to do something, like intake the content, just fucking munch the content. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll end up taking a lot in. But yeah, watch other streams and learn from them. Super important. Pick ones that you like and see what they do, and see how you can not steal it, but you know what I mean. Take inspiration from it. Okay, this is a big one. Play with people who are entertaining to your viewers, who help with your content and don't create bad vibes. So this sounds shitty, but like I said, this is just strictly coming from someone that would like to do this more as like a full-time job, right? Even if you have like your best homie, like it's not worth, if he's gonna make your stream like fucking miserable, don't do it. Because the only reason you should be going live is like if you're trying to like actually do this, the only reason to go live is to create good quality content for people to watch, right? So if you're just going live to have fun, that's so different. Like do whatever the fuck you want. Like none of this actually applies. But like for example, like I have two really good friends, Mayan and Luke, who are super fun to play with, and they're also great for like content, right? They're funny as fuck. We have a really good time. We have great chemistry, and I wish I could play with them more. like I love, like when I have the opportunity to play with them, it's great. Like I want to go live all the time with them because it's always just such a good time. Seth, same, like Seth's in chat right now. Like Seth's super fun to play with. I don't really play with people that it's not enjoyable to play with, right? But like just make sure you're doing that. And if you don't have people to play with like that, try and find them. You can reach out in so many different community discords. Reach out on mine. I'm always looking for new people to play with. Like all the people that I associate with are always down to game and to create content. So just reach out to those and see if you can do streams with them or whatever, and just find cool people. You just don't want bad vibes on your stream. It's just not enjoyable for anyone. And then continue to grow and spice things up. This one's big, right? So like I try my best with this by like adding different little gimmicks and shit like that, but have goals in mind and see what you can do to achieve them, and what can be entertaining content. So like this stems back from like watching other streamers too. Like you can see, for example, like my whole dance fucking thing that I do is like a culmination of like a few different streamers that I've watched do like weird rave effects and shit like that. I had to build it out myself because looking up a tutorial on like how to make a rave scene in OBS it's not really there, especially with the way I have it set up. But I've seen people do that shit, so like I made one myself and it's been fun to do. But just in general, like that's just like a scene transition, but like coming up with different channel point things, different sub goals, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like always try and always be grinding, like just focus on it if that's what you want to do, and adapt, because don't get stale, I guess. Don't get comfortable. That's a lot that I've been learning over this, literally the past month. That's been my main goal. What's up, Perky? Okay, this is a fucking huge one for any fucking affiliate in here right now, or anyone that's watching this. Turn your pre-roll ads off. Like, I cannot explain how, like, this is such a big thing that I did, and it's been great. Okay, so I'll quickly break down like the theory behind this that I had, right? So when you first get affiliate, you're super excited because you're like, oh my God, I have ads. Like, and that's like a steady source of income because, if I have a few viewers, like they're going to watch the ads, like whatever. That's cool. I'm going to literally show my personal breakdown on ads in the next slide. It's so little that it sucks. And when you have pre-roll ads on, like think about how bad, and we're going to talk about this a bunch, but think about how bad Twitch's discoverability is. It's so fucking bad. The fact that if you get someone to randomly click on your stream, if you're able to pull that off, that is a fucking miracle, right? So if you're able to do that and they decide to watch you, and the first thing they have to do is see an ad, realistically, they're going to not continue through that, right? Like, it's just how it is. Another thing, and this is just like a niche moment right here. When I do raids, and like if I go to raid someone and I have to sit through a pre-roll while I'm live to do a raid, I've definitely backed out of it before, like before raiding, because I'm trying to quickly see if this person's entertaining and I want to raid them, and if they like jive, like if I support them, if they're cool, I want to make sure they're not a fucking dickhead. And if I can't immediately see that and I have to sit through an ad on stream, it's like it kind of, that's dead air. So I just really recommend everyone turn pre-roll ads off, and I'll break down my analytics on that in the next slide. But yeah, turn them off. You are going to have to run mid-rolls, but you're probably running mid-rolls anyway right now. So yeah, turn those off. Okay, so this is like the breakdown here. So this is my overall ad revenue over the past, since I hit affiliate. It's barely nothing, right? I mean, all my money's barely, I'm a little tiny guy, but $16, cool. So now the caveat here is that I've had, each month I've grown, and this past month was really good for me, and compared to the others. But so this was 5 months of pre-roll ads on. So about half of this, right? All said and done. This was last month with my ads off. So it's basically the same, right? And I've had continued growth. Now, is that because of the ads? Probably not necessarily, because, I've been doing the TCF affiliate drops. Like I've been streaming and my quality's gone up, things like that. But being able to, like, if you're able to convert that click into an immediate viewer, that's so much better, because then they're able to actually latch on to you, and see if they like your content. Just the conversion rate of clicking for a pre-roll ad and then immediately going out is so high. Just talking about ads though, when you have pre-roll ads off, you have to run mid-rolls. This is just another note about ads. Try your best to time your ads with downtime. So for example, like when I'm playing the cycle or hunt showdown and I load into a new match or something, that's the best time to run that ad. Like if you see you have an ad in 5 minutes, like you should run it at the downtime so that it doesn't turn on in 5 minutes. Like just try and keep track of where your ads are at. Sometimes I fuck up. It happens when you're deep in the game or whatever. Or when you're going on a be right back, it's a great time to run an ad, shit like that. But yeah, that's my talk about ads. Turn pre-roll ads off. They're not worth it. Like, especially when you're trying to grow. The little bit of money you get for someone sitting through it is not worth, making people sit through it. Oh, Perky, sorry, I've been ignoring chat while we go through. But yeah, always have shots under 1K channel points. That's huge, actually. Just make them 1 channel point. I think that's a good growth tactic. Okay, moving on. Speaking of growth, water break. Okay. This is a big one that everyone knows, but this has been super helpful to me. Interact with other streamers. This is a no-brainer. But collabs, just joining other streamers' chats and becoming friends with them, joining their discords, things like that. Like a lot of us, I say us, like tiny little baby streamers, like we're all in this together. So it's like a lot of people are willing to share the love around. I was grateful enough got to speed run my affiliate. I was sitting at 2.9 average viewership at the end of January, for Sea of Thieves Community Day, I think. And just through pure luck, I met Kraken Chaotic during the stream. He had I think 10 or 7 viewers or something like that. And we ended up VoIPing and playing together that night. And he knew I was live and he was checking out my stream, whatever. And he raided me that night. And because of his raid, I hit affiliate. I would have probably hit affiliate within the next week or two, just because, I was at 2.9 average viewership, which you just need 3, but that jumped it over and I was able to, hit affiliate because of that. So that was one of my first really cool interactions with a streamer. And then of course, Beta Seda came into my chat one night, and I met the whole Bark and Bale crew. They're super sweet. That's where Jug is and all that stuff. Ice Interstellar has been a great dude. Seth has been fucking awesome. All these people have showed so much love to me. I try my best to show the love back, but interacting with other streamers is so great. And especially with small affiliate channels and not even affiliates, we're all just kind of in this together, right? And almost every affiliate wants to help someone else get affiliates. So just always don't be afraid to, reach out to people, be nice, be respectful. But most of the time people are willing to spread the love, but don't self-promote in chat. That's lame. You can mention that you're that you also stream, and then maybe there'll be a shout out or something, but don't be like, hey, check out my stream. That's just, don't do that. That's just not cool. Okay. Find games with strong communities in low competition. So this has been, this is a big deal, and this is a very hot take. And it depends on the person. It depends on what your goals are too. If you're trying to be a streamer for a game, I guess probably just stick with that game, right? If that's your goal and you want to do YouTube content for a game, you want to stream that game, you want your whole identity to be that game, you want to be that guy for the game, then stick with the game and just do it. And we'll talk about funneling later. But something that's helped me a lot with growing slightly and a little bit was you can go onto websites like Twitch Tracker. You can go onto Sully Gnome is my favorite to look at this, but you can literally look up a game and you can see the ratio, the spread of channels to viewership, right? And so you can see the breakdown of how that works and how it would be distributed depending on the amount of viewers to the amount of people streaming it. And if it's a game that you're interested in, give it a go and see what happens. So a really positive example in my history of streaming was Super Auto Pets. I haven't played that in a while just because the cycle and everything, but Super Auto Pets was super great for me to grow on. It had a really small amount of streamers. I enjoyed the game a lot, and the community is extremely active and supportive. It's also very since it's a free-to-play game that's on every platform, it's accessible by anyone. So you're getting all sorts of different kinds of people that are just like looking for Super Auto Pets content. So yeah, I was able to do that for a while, and I was able to hit like there was a few times where I was number one channel on Super Auto Pets. Now this was like super late at night, so it was mostly in like Europe and stuff like that. And it wasn't like there was a lot of competition. But it's a really cool feeling when you're the top channel on a category. And it can be, of course, you know how Twitch works. So if you're the top one, more people are going to click on you, and et cetera, et cetera. And your chat's more active, which is creating more content, and et cetera. It's a snowball effect. So finding a cool game that works for you, and you're getting, if you're getting Twitch discoverability and new clicks from a new game, like usually you should probably stick with that game for a little bit. A good example of a game that I haven't done enough of that I should is like Risk, Global Domination. There was a lot of people that came in and like were watching that. It was a community I didn't know existed, but like that's a game that's super easily accessible and has a community there. A slightly bigger game, which is a great one, is Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is what I started on, and a lot of people start on. I met a ton of great streamers through that. A lot of people like watching it. There is a lot of competition on it, but the community is so strong that it really doesn't matter because all the streamers there are really just trying to support each other. It's really nice. It's probably my most like rated game that I've played. So yeah, super sweet. Okay, utilize their tools. This one is talking about utilizing like games tools, and what that means is mostly talking about like drops, tournaments. There's certain extensions that work with just certain games. I think there's like Minecraft ones and like fucking like Valorant ones and shit like that. But utilize the tools that are there and given to you by the game and the community. So like a big example is like drops, right? Drop campaigns are the fucking best thing ever for streaming. It's not the best at like guaranteeing, because those clicks aren't driven by people interested in your content necessarily. It can be. It's a double-edged thing, right? So it's like people are looking for someone to watch to get their drops. They see your channel, they're like, oh, this guy looks interesting. They click it and they check it out. But utilize those drop campaigns, utilize partnership programs and affiliate programs. Like I said, the reason I've been doing the cycle so much is because one, I like the game, but two, they have a really cool thing called the cycle affiliates, which is like the partners are up here and then there's all the big streamers, and then they have about 200 like small streamers that they're trying to grow the community on, and they give you lots of opportunities to grow and try that out. But utilize the tools that the game devs and the community managers are there for. Join tournaments with other streamers, connect with them and put on different things. Just utilize the tools of the community and the game that you're involved in, and try to use that for growth. It's super helpful. If you're looking for a new game that you want to try, if you don't know what to try, go through the drops campaign and just check it out. It's super important to do all that. Yeah, sorry. Let's see. Oh, it's supposed to show how long someone has followed. I'll look into adding that in Nightbot. Gold Hoarder, there will be a Q&A at the end. This is for YouTube, so I gotta grind through it. But yeah, we'll do a little Q&A. Red Mirror jokingly, I made the announcement in my Discord I was doing this, and he I think it was a joke, maybe he was serious, but he DM'd me and was like, "Yo, will there be a Q&A at the end?" And I was like, I wasn't sure if there's people to ask questions, but yeah. Okay, this is a big one. This is super, I don't know why it's in the growth section, but if you get a big raid, most of the time you should just have viewer count off to begin with. I talked about that, and if you're streaming to 0 viewers, just always be on, always be engaged. But if you have your viewer count off, you're never worrying about, you should always be the same if you're streaming at 0 or 1,000 viewers, right? Your content should be the same level. So when you get a big raid, for example, when I got the Gingy raid and all of a sudden my viewers were over 600, that's like a big thing, right? Like that changes everything. Like your chat is so fast when if you're not used to it, it's just like you can't keep up with it. So and what happens is when you get that big hit of dopamine, you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I'm so lucky. Holy shit. If you have that viewer count on, which is what I did originally, and then later in the stream, I turned it off because you just slowly start watching that thing decline. And it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. As much as you subconsciously, your little brain that likes numbers going up, your dopamine receptors and shit like that, like if watching that number go down sucks. And even if you have like 12 viewers and all of a sudden it drops to 4, like there is a part of you that's not going to enjoy that. So most of the time I have my viewer count off. I think it helps me not worry about it as much. I'll cycle it in and out just to know how things are going or whatever or things are hitting, but just try your best to not let it change how you're streaming. Okay. And then this was supposed to be the first thing, but I PowerPoint, so I just moved it down here. But create funnels. This is something I'm still learning, and this is like an attempt today. This is like a test stream here to do something that's straight for YouTube. Like I'll chop all this up and be there, but creating funnels. So I'm currently in the process of trying to build out my YouTube channel. I have a TikTok. I don't use it enough. My Instagram is completely separate from my streaming life, which is something that I want to change. I'll talk about that in my goals later on. But like I've mentioned a few times, Twitch has no discoverability for the most part. It's fucking terrible. Like the probability of you getting clicked on by someone is very small, and like they have to scroll for so long usually to find people like us, right? So you have to figure out ways to bring people into your channel despite like just scrolling through Twitch. Most of the time people don't just scroll and scroll and scroll. If you are at a really low viewership, like a lot of us are. So you have to figure out ways to bring people in. I would say Twitter is not really a funnel. It's more of like a way to interact with your community. Unless you're like super viral on Twitter and making great memes or something. I don't fucking know. But yeah, like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all that shit. Like try your best to bring those people into your Twitch. Because how it all kind of adds up is like the more you can bring people in, the more your number goes up. Bigger number equals higher up on the Twitch thing, and then people might start clicking on you from Twitch more and more. So yeah, that's the thing right there. Trying to figure out how to bring people into your stream. Most of the time you got to do it from other platforms. Okay, discoverability. I just touched on this. I'm gonna take a sip of this coffee real quick. Okay, discoverability. So these are just little tips that I've picked up and little things that I've learned. So the first one is webcam placement. So, well, one, as you see on the bottom, Twitch is bad for discoverability. We've been talking about that, but this is just a little thing that anyone that's using a webcam and streaming should know. And I wish I knew originally. So my webcam, well, right now this is set up. My cam's in the bottom left right now because of like the whole, having the PowerPoint here and everything like that. But most of the time my camera's sitting like around here, right? For anyone that's been around for a while, they'll know that my camera used to be in the bottom right corner. I changed this because, in your head, you're like, oh, you put it in a bottom corner, it blocks out less of the game and shit like that. When you're looking at a Twitch preview, you're scrolling through and you're seeing all the people streaming. When you're looking at a preview, if your camera is in a corner, it's being blocked by the information. So naturally your eyes go over and they look and they'll see the left side first, and you have to have your camera in the middle for people to be able to see that you have a camera and see you or whatever, right? So definitely move your webcam to the middle of the screen. That's why all the big streamers have it there for the most part. Yeah, so like Moist Critical, his is like right here, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Have your title, profile pic, and anything like that support your content. There's been a lot of times where I'll have like a new viewer or a new chatter, first time chatter, and I ask them like, oh, how'd you find the stream? And they'll like be like, yo, like your name and your title seemed interesting, so I clicked it, or it seemed funny. I don't know. Like I got a vibe from it. Try your best to make your titles creative. This is something I'm still learning, and I try my best to do. But yeah, try your best to have a fun and interesting title that is intriguing to click on. But yeah, Twitch is just bad for discoverability. But those are my two things that I've learned and wish I knew sooner when I started streaming on Twitch. Community, this is kind of like, it's just, dude, this PowerPoint's so funny. Like, I use so many stock images. Oh God. Okay. So branding, right? Try your best to come up with a consistent brand. This is something I'm still learning to do. My whole vibe that I try to go for is like chaos and wackiness, and like it's like you're getting a strike at a bowling alley, and it shows that like terrible like old animation of like a bowling pin getting like crucified or something like that. You know, that's the energy that I try to put into my shit, and that's what I try and show in my branding. I still have some work to do, of course. Like my Twitch panels don't reflect that at all. But yeah, just try your best to figure out what you want your identity to be, and like create everything around that so it's recognizable. This is something I'm still learning. Discord. So this is something that I've dropped the ball on so many times, and like it's a big thing. So everyone's like, yo, like if you're a streamer, you should have a Discord, and you definitely should. Super important. Like I'm super guilty of this. Like I fucked this up so bad. So with my Discord, that probably a lot of you are in or whatever, but with that Discord, I made it super fancy and professional, right? Like it's got all these fucking channels, and like, you know, we have bots and shit like that, and it's super cool. It's super set up. The problem with something like that is that when you don't have the amount of people that could actively populate that type of shit, it just looks like a dead Discord. For anyone that's been in my Discord, you'll notice that, like, maybe you haven't noticed, but slowly but surely I've been deleting channels and channels. I'm trying to, I made too many of them. I made too many things. Like I had like a graphic design channel. I had like a music channel. I had like a pet channel. I still have the pet channel, I think, like a cocktail and food channel or something. Like all this shit is places for if you have a lot of information going into your Discord. The best thing to do is honestly just set up a Discord and just have a general and like a few VCs. Because what will happen is more and more people come in, your Discord won't appear dead, right? So this is something that I fucked up really bad, and I regret it, and I've slowly been trying to reverse it, but it's really hard to once you have it all set up. But like just literally make your Discord, like name it cool, make a cool community picture, maybe add some cool emojis, but you don't need 20,000 fucking channels. Like it'll just make your Discord die out. And you really want to incentivize, like not incentivize, but you want to cultivate that like community in your Discord and try and be as active in it as you can, and support people being active and allow people to engage. We're just now getting to the point where people are chatting with each other and people send stuff in our Discord, which is really cool. I feel like if I just had one general channel when I first made it, it would have been a lot more poppin'. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind with the whole Discord thing. Emotes, this goes back to like branding, kind of. Emotes should reflect your branding, but something that I learned when I first got affiliate is like I was like, oh fuck, I need custom emotes. So I just kind of like made some, and the thing about how emotes work on the platform is like you use them to usually represent something, right? So my mistake, and like a lot of my original emotes are just like cool. They're cool things. Like I have the swag juice jar, and like the beast mode jar, and like the cowboy hat, which is all cool, and like they're cool pieces of art, but the people don't use them because like what the fuck does that mean? One, also the fact that I have a little jar that says swag on it or whatever, like you can't read that, you don't know what that says, so why does that exist? It doesn't represent anything. Like there's no reason for that to be used. But something that like my top used emote is the gamer rage one, which is me like raging out. It's my animated one. Like that one is used because it clearly reflects an emotion, right? It clearly is a response to something. Like when I get mad, or someone else, it's been used in other chats, I've seen it, like when someone gets mad, you use that, right? So it actually has a purpose to be used, and it's funny, it's an enjoyable one. The cowboy, the newest one that was recommended by Put, like was the cowboy howdy. Like that one's used when you pop in and say hi, right? So have a reason for your emotes when you if you're gonna get affiliate and make them. Like start mapping them out now in your head what you want. Channel points, I think that this is like my strong suit, or it has been in the past of weaning off, but channel points are an amazing opportunity to create engagement between you and your viewership. Um, we all are very familiar with the beast mode. Anyone that's been in my chat and things like that. You think of fun and creative things that create direct, what's the word I'm looking for? Involvement, I guess. I don't know. Involvement for people to engagement. I don't know. Interaction, like interaction between chat and yourself is sick. And channel points are a great opportunity to do that. Also from like the weird, scummy, like low key side of it, like just strictly business and viewers and stuff. It's like, if you have a fun channel point thing, that inherently incentivizes watch time, right? Even if it's just AFK watch time, like, and they have an auto claimer on for the bonus channel points, like that's still a viewer watching it to make you, like, I don't know, do 10 push-ups. Or I had a kid like in a Super Auto Pets thing one night who, like, I was doing viewer versus lobbies, and he wanted to make it so I couldn't buy pets or something. He was just a kid, like, he was just trolling. But, I have the channel point redemption to like stop an in-game action. So he's like saved up for it. And like I don't think he was necessarily entertained. He just wanted to play the game. Like, we were doing lobbies, like I said, viewer versus, and like he just wanted me to lose or something. So like that was just an extra viewer I had for a while he was trolling me in the chat. So that's like the scummy side of it, just thinking business. But creating that actual direct engagement is super great, and channel points are a great opportunity for it. As we all know from beast mode and my drunk streams, etc. I don't know what that means. So moving on. Okay. My goals time. This is talking about me. So like I said, I'm a little tiny content creator. I don't know everything. I don't know anything, except the stuff that I don't know. This is just all my take on everything that I've learned in my experience from streaming on Twitch way too much and getting affiliate and having a good time and trying to do this more and more. So these are my personal couple of goals here. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. Because like I said, I talked about funnels and stuff like that. Also, YouTube is long form content, and also it is permanent content, right? Twitch is gone once it's done. No one really watches VODs. I've watched some people's VODs, like content creators I really like. I'll go back and watch their VODs for funsies. I go back and watch your own VODs, as I talked about earlier. Very important. But YouTube channel, like when you think about it, if you have a really poppin' video and it does super well, like that will just, you have a good amount of time where that video can keep growing. And then of course, if people like the video, that's active growth possibly going into your stream. So, if you have a video that kind of slowly takes off, every time someone new goes in and really likes that content, they will pop over to your stream possibly. So that's my big goal this year, is to grow my YouTube channel and to convert that to live viewership. Increase stream quality. This is just a general thing. I really, there's so many things that I want to buy and make better. There's so many things that I want to get to increase the quality of my stream. Like I said, like, everyone says this, it doesn't matter what fucking camera you have, and microphone. It really doesn't. As long as you know how to format it and make it look good, you can do it. It doesn't matter. But that being said, there are certain things that I personally want to do with my stream that require me getting different equipment and just upping my quality. So that's what I want to do. I have a lot of goals and ideas, but I'm getting a job because I need to pay for things for that, right? So that's a big goal of mine. Get all socials links. So what this means is that like I said, my Instagram audience is completely separate from my whole online boy cowboy audience currently. I would like to eventually have all of that linked up, and everyone, I want it to be homogenous. I want it to be like my Twitch, my YouTube, my music, my personal, photography, Instagram shit, and like my band stuff. I want that all to be known by everyone, and it's all a shared audience, I guess. That's kind of my goal this year, is to figure out how to properly implement that. And with that goes along with like a website and things like that. So the idea is to have like, whatever my branding is, if it's Boy Cowboy, if it's just Ryan, whatever, like, have a big website that links all of that together. So, there's one place to go to find the Twitch, the YouTube, to find merch, which I don't want to make like Boy Cowboy merch. I want to just like make clothes and have them for sale. and have that all under one thing. My music, all that stuff, right? It's a one-stop shop so that I can just put that in my bio on Twitter, on Instagram, and people can click that and just, it's all there. That's a big goal of mine this year. And then I would love to do a live Twitch music set for Softbite and my band Witchitis. I think that'd be really fun. But all of these are my personal goals. I do have like numeric goals that I'd like to reach, and I have those on a Word document or like a notepad document. And I think, yeah. So what was it? Okay, so Ludwig has a very similar like presentation video like this, where he goes through and he's like, do you want to be a Twitch streamer or something? But the first thing he had people doing that was like go on a notepad and write like a few goals and like some other shit. I don't remember. I watched it like a year ago, but I have this document of like different goals that I have, and have them written down. And so I have a yearly goal this year that I wanted to reach. So that's all my numeric stuff. I have it, but like that's to be reviewed at the end of the year and see where we're at. But those are all my personal goals right there. And here's our little conclusion here. That's Ralph the cat. But super positive vibes. If you want to do it, it can happen 100%. You need to just put in the work and manifest it. But the biggest thing that a lot of like I'm trying to get better and better at, and I think is really important, is to take pride into what you're doing and be proud of it, right? So like, for example, I don't have my Instagram following aware of my YouTube and Twitch, right? And that's because, you know, I'm a little nervous about that, right? Like, oh, I have people from my like real life, you know, from my hometown and stuff. Like, I don't know if I want them to see this stuff, but my goal is to have the quality there and to work on it hard enough where I'm not necessarily ashamed that my mom would watch it, right? Or like be embarrassed by it. That's the thing. That's the goal, is to just, if you want to do something like this, like you have to, you know, be okay with everyone knowing that you're doing this, right? So take pride in your work and put work into and trying to improve your content. Figure out what's working for you, what doesn't. In the end of the day, if you're not the best at gaming, this is all typed wrong. If you're not the best at gaming though, you're there to be an entertainer, right? So your job title isn't necessarily a gamer. It's entertainer. You're more of a talk show host than a video game tester, right? So put the effort into doing that. Keep that in mind. If you're just doing it for fun, just do it for fun then. But if you want to do it, and this is what is driving me and what I'm trying to actively get better at, is this side of it all. So yeah, I did this so many times right there. All right, it's outro time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that fucking subscribe button and like button, all those words. If you got any content or any fucking information from this video, I appreciate it so much. It helps a lot with trying to grow this channel. Check out the Discord. Check out my Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, of course, and then also stream my music. It's Softbite. Go check it out. You might like some of the songs. I don't know. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Cowboy.